Welcome to the Candle Business Coach Podcast, a show about the craft of candle making and small business. I'm your host, Kirsty Allen, and I'm a candle maker, mum of three, and kindness advocator. Join me as I dive into all things candles and small business and deliver advice and tips to you in episodes every Tuesday and Friday. Are you on the list to get my daily motivation emails? Every day I'll send you a message that is designed to help keep you focused on taking action toward your goals. Sign up using the link in the show notes. This episode is brought to you by my free ebook, the Candle Business Marketing Kickstarter Kit. Inside this free ebook, you'll learn to identify your blocks of time to dedicate to your candle business. Plus, there are several tips and tricks for re-engaging past customers and attracting new customers into your business so you can grow your business and reach your goals. Check out the link in the show notes for your copy. Hello, my friend, and welcome back to the Candle Business Coach podcast. You may have noticed that the upload date for today's podcast is actually a day late. And oh my goodness, I've missed my day that I was going to upload. And I have a few reasons why, but I wanted to just preface this episode with saying that when we set ourselves deadlines and goals to complete tasks or to achieve certain things, we can change the goalposts. And one of the things that I had originally said, and I've always said in every episode, is that when I upload each week, it would be on a Tuesday and a Friday. But today I'm recording and uploading on the same day, and it's actually Wednesday. So it's a day after when I would normally publish an episode. And I wanted to say that it's actually okay when you change the goalposts in your business and in your life. Because when we set ourselves goals, they are markers for us to work towards. But you know what? Life happens. Life gets in the way sometimes. And what's actually the main reason for not uploading is because I've been feeling a bit of just a lack of motivation lately. And I thought this would be a really good episode just to deep dive into how to motivate yourself when you don't feel that motivated. And I think one of the reasons why it can be so challenging to stay motivated is when we don't have or we don't see consistent results. We can be putting in the groundwork, in the trenches, doing what needs to be done. But if we don't see any results from our actions, we can find ourselves starting to lose that motivation because we think if it's not working, then why am I putting in the effort? So I wanted just to talk about a few strategies that we can tackle together, because I know that by myself pushing myself to do this episode today, when honestly, it's quite dreary outside. My big kids are on school holidays, and we actually celebrated my baby's birthday yesterday. So that was another reason why the podcast was put on the back burner. But I wanted just to, talk about some strategies as to how we can just get back on the horse when we're feeling unmotivated to help us continue to strive towards our goals. So number one is to set clear and specific goals. So when you have a clear understanding of what you actually want to achieve, that can help motivate you towards your goals. So one of the things for myself in this podcast is that I want to be a consistent presence for those that choose to listen to this podcast. So if you have a variety of podcasts you listen to, or if you just choose a select few, I want to be a consistent voice in your ears, not only for candle making, but also for candle business and also just for motivation and inspiration as well. So for me, having those clear goals, it helps me stay focused when sometimes it feels like I'm talking into the void and no one's actually listening. But I can see my download numbers are going up, and they're going up consistently. So I do know that I've got some beautiful, consistent listeners, dedicated listeners on the podcast. And I thank you so much for being here on this journey, because it really does make a difference when I receive messages from all over the world saying that you've listened to a podcast episode and something has connected in with you with something that I've said or with a guest that I've had on the podcast. So yes, number one, set clear and specific goals can make a huge difference in your motivation levels. Number two is break down those big goals into smaller, achievable steps. So as we know, it can be overwhelming to focus on a large goal all at once. And there's that saying, how do you eat an elephant? And the truth is you do it one bite at a time. So by breaking your goals down into smaller achievable steps where you can actually make progress and then feel motivated as you complete each step. So for me with the podcast, and I'll keep using this as an example because it's highly relevant to what I'm doing right now. For me, it's recording an episode after researching the different topics or having a guest on the show, and then editing the episode, uploading it into my software program, and then pushing publish or scheduling it and getting it out into the world. So by breaking the podcast down into these smaller achievable steps, it means that the whole process isn't as overwhelming, and as long as I'm just doing each step one after the other, I will then reach my goals, my big goals, by taking those smaller steps. Number 3 is celebrate your successes. So when you achieve a goal or make progress, it's really important to take the time to acknowledge and celebrate your success. So one of the things that I do with the podcast is pretty much twice a week, because that's how often I'm uploading onto my software program, I check my download numbers for the podcast. And when I ticked over 1,000 downloads and then 5,000 downloads and then 10,000 downloads, I took a picture of the screen showing how many downloads I had, and I posted it on my social media just to say thank you to the listeners that helped create those download numbers for me. And for me, it's about celebrating not only my success, but wanting to share that with other people as well. And I find that by doing that, it helps to keep me motivated to keep working towards my goals. And the truth is, one of the big goals that I have for this podcast is to reach 100,000 downloads. Now, I don't have a specific deadline as to when I want to reach that goal. It's more that I just want to keep showing up, keep being here, keep being a presence and being present. And I know that the downloads will come. So that's more of a longer term goal that I'm working towards. But it is exciting to see the progress that we make along the way. And it's important to celebrate our successes as well, which is what I said earlier. So number 4 is surround yourself with positive people. So surrounding yourself with people who support and encourage you and understand what you're going through really does help you stay motivated and focused on your goals. I know this week I was feeling awful because I knew that I wasn't going to get this podcast episode out on the Tuesday morning when I normally upload and schedule the episode. And my partner was incredibly supportive and said, at the end of the day, you've been so consistent since you first started this podcast in November last year. So what's that, 5-6 months in? Let me just do a quick calculation. So November, December, January, February, March, April. So we've been going 5.5 months, which is just mind-blowing. But the point of that story was just the fact that I'm surrounding myself with positive people who understand what I'm going through, and they know the effort that goes into creating a podcast and each episode each week, or in my case twice a week. So having positive people around you that can help encourage you and also help to motivate you can help you be motivated at the same time, and then you can focus on reaching your goals quicker because you've got that motivation within you. Number 5 is to take care of yourself. So as we know, taking care of your physical, mental and emotional health can help you feel motivated and energized. So that means, yes, getting enough sleep, going to bed a little bit earlier, eating well, exercising, and also practicing self-care. And I'm excited to announce that the episode that I'll be releasing on Friday, so in 2 days' time, if you're listening to this episode when it first comes out, is an episode with Jinsia and Lana from the Smoothie Bombs. And we talk about how to be a business owner, but also take care of your mental and physical and emotional health at the same time. It's a really incredible episode, and I can't wait for you to hear it. But taking care of yourself is paramount to being able to do what you need to do, not only in terms of your business, but also your life as well. So prioritizing self-care and taking care of yourself probably should be number 1 on this list, to be honest. But it's just important to let you know that that's just part of the process of staying motivated as well. Number 6 is visualize success. So visualizing yourself achieving your goals and imagining how it will feel is one way that I like to motivate myself when I feel that motivation is lacking. So what I normally do is I'll pull out my journal and just start writing and just seeing where the pen takes me and what comes out. And often it can be just a way of really getting some clarity around your thoughts. And when you have clarity, it makes the whole process a lot easier to be able to understand and analyze why you are feeling the way that you're feeling and why that motivation might be lacking. So visualizing success and doing that, whether you're journaling or just, sitting by yourself and meditating, or just letting yourself daydream about where you'll be once you reach your goals after you've taken the action to get there, is one way out of this list that I'm sharing with you that you can try and certainly find that it can help motivate you to take action and work towards your goals. Number 7 is focus on the present moment. So it's so easy to get overwhelmed thinking about all the work that you have to do or all the tasks that need completing. But if you can take a breath and just take stock of where you are and focus on the present moment and take things one step at a time, that can really help just to bring you back to reality and help you understand what needs to be done to make your to take action towards your goals. So I guess the main thing that I just wanted to share in today's episode is that motivation, it comes from within, and it does take effort and self-discipline to maintain. So when you do feel that your motivation is lacking in your candle business, you're taking action but perhaps sporadically, or maybe you're taking action consistently but not seeing the results, and then that motivation begins to waver. It's important to know that if you are taking inspired action, if you are taking action in the direction of your goals, that these moments of lacking motivation or lacking belief that where you're headed is where you're wanting to go, or that where you're wanting to go is where you're headed, it's encouraging to know that we all go through the ebbs and flow of life and the other parts of life that can, I'll say, interrupt our journey with our candle making or our candle business. It's all part of the experience. It's all part of the adventure. So when we can focus on setting those clear and specific goals, breaking those goals into smaller achievable steps, celebrating our successes along the way, surrounding ourselves with positive people, taking care of ourselves, visualizing success and focusing on the present moment, those are ways that you can help motivate yourself. Those are some strategies that you can try. So if you're listening to this episode and you yourself are lacking motivation and you've clicked on this title thinking, clicked on this podcast episode based on the title and thought to yourself, yes, that's me. I'm definitely lacking motivation and just wondering whether I will find success on my path. Send me a DM on Instagram at Candle Business Coach, and we can just talk about why you might be feeling that way and how we can help overcome those moments where we do feel like we're lacking motivation. As I said, one of the tips is just surround yourself with positive people. And if you don't have anyone around you that is, not that they're not supportive of your business, but they just don't quite understand what you're going through and what's required to be a business owner and a successful one at that, I can help be that person for you and help be that cheerleader for you. So always know that my DMs are open on Instagram. And if you do need to reach out or if you just want to say hello, I would love to hear from you. And I hope this episode can just let you know that we all struggle with motivation at times, myself absolutely included. And even though this episode is coming out one day late, it's not the end of the world, and the world will keep revolving even though I haven't hit my timeline as I have every other week since bringing in the podcast. But what's more important is that you can find that motivation for yourself, not only for your candle business, but again, just in general for your life as well. So take on board the strategies that I've shared throughout this episode, and I hope that at least one of those strategies, hopefully several of them, will help keep you motivated, get you motivated and then keep you motivated in your candle business and in your candle making journey. Thanks everyone for listening today. I hope this episode added value to your candle making journey. Check out the show notes for all the links mentioned throughout today's show, and please subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any future episodes. Thanks again for listening. Have a beautiful day.